Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Daniel. I'm doing very well.
Let's cut to the chase. You've signed with Sauerland Boxing. Big, exciting news. What made them the front runner and secured your prized signature on the contract?
They came in, the right place. They were in the right place at the right time. They offered the right deal, and things had slowed down for me a bit with my promoters in BBC and Showtime. They have a lot of guys on the books, and the pandemic, COVID, they can't give everyone the attention, So the offer that they put in front of me was a deal I couldn't really refuse. And I'm very excited to move forward with them, and I'm sure they're going to deliver the names and the fights that they've promised.
How important was it to you that you get to fight more often in the UK? Is that a factor that came into play?
It wasn't, to be honest. I've done so much in the UK throughout my career. I was actually happy to have a change, to be exposed to a new audience. And in that sense, it is a little bit of a shame for me personally, because I don't get to be out here as much. But at the same time, my fans are my British fans are the ones that have been with me from day one. So to be able to give them access to my fights, or easier access, is it's a great thing. So fighting in England is always a love of mine. I'm always happy to do it, of course. And who knows? Maybe depending on who I fight, maybe I will have fights still here in the States. There's some big American fights to be made. So it's not to say that I'm not going to fight out here. Well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
And will you still be training alongside Roy Jones Jr.? You've often talked of how much he's brought to your development.
Yes, I will be training with Roy. He will be in the corner for my future fights, 100%. I go back to Pensacola tomorrow to start training back with them. And who knows, if I have a fight in England, then I guess he would have to come over and train with me in England, which is, which will be fun, especially for you guys to see Roy in England again. But yeah, very excited.
Well, apparently he's coming over here to do an exhibition match with Glenn McCrory at some point early this year. I don't know how set in stone that is, but he's got more than one reason to come over, perhaps.
Right, I didn't know that, and I haven't heard that. But yeah, I'm sure at some point he will be over in England with me.
Great stuff. And you mentioned Sauerland delivering the names that you guys have talked about. Who are the kind of top 3 or 4 guys on your hit list for this year?
All the guys with middleweight all the guys with middleweight belts are on the hit list. Number 1 would be Gennady Golovkin. That is the fight which I've been trying to make for years. Was so close to making it a few years back, and it slipped away. And that's always been something I've regretted, something I've wanted to rectify. He still has a middleweight belt. So that, if you're going to ask me who's the number 1 guy I want to fight, it'll be him. But Road to Murata, the new WBA Super Champion. That's a fight that makes a lot of sense. I'm interim WBA World Champ, so definitely going to be trying to make that fight. Charlo, another big name out there that I want to get that scalp. So yeah, the next couple of years are going to be very exciting.
And is Golovkin the number 1 target primarily because he's the consensus number 1 in the division, or is it more because you've seen things in his style that you feel you can exploit?
I know I can beat him, and he is the biggest name in the middleweight division now. So I want to take that. I want to take that title. I want to take that accolade. I want to be the number 1 guy.
I spoke to Nisa Sauerland earlier, and he said how popular you are with broadcasters generally. Have you got any preference in terms of which broadcaster whose channels you appear on going forward, or are you just happy to get the most, viewership possible?
Yeah, no, as a fighter, we don't really care about. We're not really bothered about that. We just want the fight to be as big as it can be, as promoted as well as it can be, and viewed by as many viewers as possible. So yeah, that's up to my promoters to deliver on that.
You spent a year or more outside the ring, but you've used that to hone your craft. You've been working diligently over in Florida with Roy Jones Jr. This has to be probably the biggest year for you in your career so far. Would you agree?
2021?
Yes,
Or
this year.
2020? Yeah. This is it. I'm in my prime, 31 years old. I got the world at my feet. I'm number one contender for the WBA full world title. Got a new full-time coach. Signed with a new promotional company in the Sauerland Brothers. So yeah, 2021 has the potential to be massive for me, and I expect Sauerland Brothers to deliver on the names, and if they deliver, I'm most definitely going to deliver my performances.
How do you see a fight between yourself and Triple G going? Apart from the obvious that you feel you'll win the fight, what type of fight do you expect, and how do you see that victory coming?
It would be a very fan-friendly fight. We are both not fighters that back down. We can both punch. We both got good chins. But I feel I have the energy, I have the speed, I have the punch output and volume to just overwhelm him, to take him over. I'm always looking for the stoppage, and I think I could stop him, but if not, beat him convincingly over 12 rounds, 100%.
This is probably the first time in your career, certainly in the UK, where you've had a promotional backing like this. You've worked with other promoters in the UK, but this is someone who's going to be dedicated to you, and you're instantly one of the biggest names in their team as well. What does that mean to you? Is it taking a lot of the pressure off? They can deal with a lot of things that now you don't have to.
Well, yeah, that was at one of the main reasons why I made the move from PBC to the Sauerland Brothers. Especially during the pandemic, the promotional company in BBC and Showtime, they have so many fighters. It's just they can't give the attention that is needed to everybody. I was a big fish in a big pond. Now I'm a big fish in a small pond. And that I feel is a better fit for me. I have very clear plans on what I want to do. I want to be as active as possible. So I felt like these were the guys that were going to be able to give me the things that I wanted and the attention that I need over the next 2 years.
And if a big fight were to come up at super middleweight, and we've talked about this before, would you still be open to it, or are you dedicated to staying at middle and winning as many belts as possible at 160?
If they say that Canelo is available at 168, I'm up at 168. Aside from that, I am campaigning at middleweight.
Great stuff. And just before we let you go, you got a message out there to the UK fans who've wanted to see you back in the ring for a long time now, and will finally get their wish in a few months' time.
Yeah, well now I'm back with the European promotional company, so that means that I probably will be fighting back in England more regularly. Not to say that I won't fight in the States if there is an opportunity with some of these guys, the fight still might be made in the States, but I will be back in the ring within the next few months, 100%. And stay tuned. 2021 is going to be a massive year for Chris Eubank Jr.
Great stuff. Really appreciate your time as always, and looking forward to seeing you back in the ring.
Okay, appreciate it.
Cheers.